Hello and welcome to this Terrain Composer Getting Started video tutorial. After you purchase Terrain Composer, you have to click the import button on the asset store. Once clicked, you get the import package window and you have to click import. Terrain Composer is important now in the Terrain Composer folder, and you have to make sure that in your console you have no errors, otherwise Terrain Composer won't be compiled and it won't be visible in the menu. Once Terrain Composer is imported and compiled, you can start it in the Unity menu, Window, and then Terrain Composer. World Composer is also in here, and in here, in Terrain Composer, but normally if you buy Terrain Composer, World Composer isn't in it. So in Terrain Composer you'll see some icon buttons in the top and also the help icon. If you click the help icon, you'll get the getting started or the start window, and in there is the main manual, the link to my website, to the tutorial videos, the forum, Terrain Composer forum, and also if you have World Composer, the World Composer manual, and otherwise the link to World Composer, and also the link to RTP forum. And here you will have to download the example package and also the tutorial package, but I'm going to download the example package now, and I will show you the example window. After downloading, you can click import, and we click import, and then a second folder is created named Terrain Composer Examples, and there all the example assets will be placed in. I use free assets from the bootcamp demo from Unity, so there's trees in there, grass, splat textures, rocks, and they can be used for free. After importing the example package, we have to click the Start Examples. We can click this Help Away. Then Terrain Composer gives a warning that you have to save your Terrain Composer project first. You can do that in File, Save, because if you have something in here and you will click to create terrains or start, it will override your project. So now we can start choosing the terrain resolution. So we leave it on default like 512, terrain tiles 2x2, so I click create terrains. Then we can see the terrains over here, and we can see it's a 2x2. So, and you can click to create lighting that will put in a skybox, directional light, wind zone. It will set the mist and the ambient light. Then if I click on reload, it will load the project, and I can click on start, and Terrain Composer starts generating. In the meantime, we can put a first controller in the scene, and you can also continue working if you have Terrain Composer. So let's place it a little bit up. Let's put on a directional light. Yes, that looks better. So Terrain Composer placed first stones and then trees, because in the tree layer we can see that over here it's doing a raycast, and this makes sure the raycast is over here, and I will explain all the filters and masks in further videos. Is to make sure that the raycast is to make sure that no tree is placed inside a stone, but you don't have to look in these layers yet. You can customize it all by these sliders. So let's hit play and see how it looks. I recorded this in a build in runtime because in the editor I use a much lower frame rate to keep the video size small. The nice thing about this Terrain Composer procedural approach is that it almost takes no disk space. The whole terrain, everything is generated on the fly, and the project is only 1.1 megabytes. Can you imagine what you can create in runtime with it? Let's go to height map here, and let's enable the drawing in the editor, because your scene can get a little bit slow, the Unity editor, but that's because of the grass and the trees. Now it is fast again. And you can set settings in editor and runtime in Terrain Composer. Let's randomize the height map, the trees, and then we choose a different setup, because I have in every project I have forest, jungle and desert. So now let's click start again, and we get a totally different height map, different splat map, different texturing, and more deserty like setup. Now let's take a look in runtime again. And this is all again procedurally. It can be changed on the fly, also on the fly in runtime. And it's all Unity default terrain shader. You can get the AAA quality if you would use RTP3 with it. And RTP3 and Terrain Composer can be both used in runtime to also generate on the fly. You can make a very large terrain of like 10 by 10 tiles. Of course there's a memory limit in the editor, but in runtime there's not such limitation if you make a 60-bit version. So then you can go even beyond what is possible in a Unity editor. So there's 4 more examples in there, and I recommend you to take a look around. And for example, if you click height map, there's a summary of settings you can change, and this is all visible in the layer also. So if I do less mountain strength, you can see the strength moving there, and you can generate them one by one. So now I do the height map with less mountain strength. You should be able to see some difference here. And if we go to splat, you can take a look in the desert splat map. And now I've generated 5 by 5 tiles, so 25 terrains total. And then I use the Island example to show you how you can make water in Unity. You go to Assets and then Import Package. And if you have Unity Pro, you can import the water here, and otherwise you have to import water free. You get the import package and then you click import. Then we search for water, and then place the daylight water prefab into the scene. You see it's very small. Go to inspector, we reset its position, we put it at altitude 15 meters, and you have to scale the X and the Z very big. No, that's maybe too big, like 10,000, and there we can see the water spreading. Let's take a look how this the island example looks. So this is the island example in runtime. Every asset in this demo included with Terrain Composer you can use for free in your game. Also the example projects themselves you can use for free. So if you want unique landscape, you just randomize the offsets and then you get unique results. And it is quite big. This is already this is a very small part of the whole terrain. So this is the example wizard. I hope you like it, and thank you for watching.